Hi, I'm Stock Investor Davis. Welcome to the channel. I've come across a great question. How much time should I spend researching stocks? This is a simple sounding question. The plan is to answer that question considering a handful of tasks one should do when researching stocks, then consider two personalized questions that may help us reevaluate the question, and finally, applying our findings to a few real-world scenarios. Before we go any further, please tap that subscribe button, and if you find this video informative, give it a like. Also, if you have any questions or notes, let me know in the comments below. To start on, we ask ourselves, how much time should I spend researching stocks? First, let's break down that question into the type of activities that are required to research a stock fully. We have 5 in total. For instance, one should research a particular market or sector, resulting in at least one promising market ideal for investing. This is estimated to take between 3 and 5 hours per year. One should also read a company's 10K or annual report. This is estimated to take between 1 and 5 hours per year. The range on this item considers the company's size, recent changes, and experience analyzing this type of report. For instance, if it's a smaller company with minimal changes and you have experience analyzing this type of report, it could take maybe an hour to review. Alternatively, if it's a larger company with many changes and you're less familiar with reviewing this type of report, it can take many hours, which I capped at 5 hours. One should also read the company's 10Q, which is their quarterly reports. This is estimated to take about 1 to 5 hours per report. There are 3 of these published each year for each company. This type of report is similar to the 10K, their annual report, but it's a bit shorter since it's focusing on the company's most recent quarter rather than a full year. Similar factors are at play with this report, as we mentioned and discussed when going over the 10K. Continuing, we have 2 more tasks. One should do when researching stocks. The first is to follow the stock's price to help understand a fair value price for the company and the market price of the company. By using technical analysis, I estimate this task will take between 15 minutes and an hour per check and update, realizing that the initial setup for something like this can take more time than a scheduled update. Second, reading company news articles, which can take an estimated 15 minutes up to 4 hours each week, considering the company's size, its popularity, its volatility, recent or upcoming events, and the sources you use. So let's summarize these tasks. To summarize, here we have listed the 5 tasks that should be performed to research a stock, including the estimated time frame it will take to complete each task. Thus, our answer to the question is between 33 and 277 hours each year, or between about 30 minutes to 5 hours and 15 minutes each week. This is factoring a weekly check for stock price analysis. I further state that most companies, due to having a lower weekly news article count, will require less time spent, and therefore a reasonable estimate can be made of about 52 hours per year, or an average of 1 hour per week should be spent researching a stock. Let's take a look at the 2 personalized questions to help us reevaluate the original question. First, how much time are you willing to spend researching stocks? I've set up 6 categories that increase as we go down the list. At the top, we have uninterested, someone who has 0 time to give each week towards research. Second is limited, someone who has 1 to 5 hours each week. Third, a hobbyist, 5 to 15 hours each week. Fourth, a part-timer, 15 to 35 hours each week. and fifth, a full-timer, 35 to 45 hours each week, and finally, sixth, a dedicated, which is 45 plus hours each week. Take a moment now to answer this question, being as fair to yourself as possible regarding your time availability. Moving to the second personalized question, how much do you want to know? I've set up 4 knowledge type options that de-escalate as we go down the list. At the top, we have the enthusiast. This is someone who wants to know everything about a stock. Next, the informed, someone who wants to actively follow a stock. Then the casual, someone who wants to know the basics of a stock. And lastly, the fair weather, someone who wants to do the minimum. Consider what knowledge type you see yourself as and be honest. Let me know in the comments what your answers are to these 2 questions. To wrap up, I'm going to apply our findings to some real-world scenarios. On the left side, we see a scenario where the person answered the previous 2 questions as first, informed, and second, a hobbyist. Considering this person wants to be informed, I imagine they are interested in and want to do most of the tasks as we listed earlier. In this example, they find the most value in reading the company's annual report, its 3 quarterly reports, and following the stock's price, more so on a weekly basis. If someone were to only perform those 3 tasks for a company based on our task projections, we can estimate it will take about 17 to 72 hours per year, or about 15 minutes to an hour and a half each week. Considering this person is a hobbyist, they likely only are willing to give between 5 and 15 hours each week to do research, which gives us a range of between 3 to 50 stocks, with the average being 9 stocks to research. In the second scenario at the top, we see the person answered as an enthusiast who is limited. Considering the enthusiast will want to perform all the tasks we listed earlier, we can estimate that for a single stock, it will take between 33 hours and 277 hours per year, or about 45 minutes to 5.5 hours per week. Then, considering the limited category, they likely are able to perform research between 1 and 5 hours per week. This gives us a range of about 1 to 7 stocks, with the average being 1 stock to research. In our final scenario at the bottom, we see the person answered as a casual who is a part-timer. Considering the casual will want to perform select tasks that they find most beneficial, in this instance, following the stock's price and reading its annual report, we can estimate that for a single stock, it will take between 14 and 57 hours per year, or about 15 minutes to an hour each week. Then, considering the part-timer category, they likely are able to perform between 15 and 35 hours per week. This gives us a range of between 13 and 115 stocks, with the average being 36 stocks to research. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like.